Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or evening. Welcome to another Yukon Bob video. Just getting things loaded up here. I'm going to do a quick little trip today. This trip's just going to be, it's probably my closest body of water to get to. It's going to be Lake Ontario today. I've only done this once before on Lake Ontario, just after I got the Sea-Doo a couple of years ago. You sort of go down to the top of Lake Ontario, Bluffs Park, I think is the name of the marina. I'll verify that a little bit later. And park there, unload, and you can do Lake Ontario over to the harbor and drive around the harbor area of Toronto and through that area. Then there's Toronto Island, lots of little waterways through there. So my wife is deciding whether to come or not today. So if she's coming, I'll throw the second seat on. Not going to carry any extra gas today, just a cooler for a little snack out there. Things are loaded up. Let's get things underway and head down to Lake Ontario and go for a little run out around the big city of Toronto. Okay, so about 35-40 minutes later, we have made it to the launch at Bluffs Park. That's the launch right over there. Now, it's a parking thing where you sort of pay, I think, on the weekends, but you don't have to pay during the week, if I remember it right. So I'm just going to go over there and check that out. It is actually free Monday to Friday. It's after 5 o'clock. You have to pay that $6. Somebody just pointed that out to me that I didn't know. So yeah, I was right. It is free Monday to Friday up until 6 o'clock. And then after that, it's a $6 flat fee. And of course, it's busy as hell here on the weekends. But right now, not so bad. First guy in at the Sea-Doo launch, and it's a pretty good launch here. Nice and level, or nice slope, I should say, taking you down in. So I'll bring the Sea-Doo around, climb on the thing, make sure it starts. Just met a YouTube fan over there. She's subscribed to the channel. She says, "Oh, are you that guy making all those YouTube videos?" Now, do not drop the keys. Bring this thing on over. Always like to make sure it starts before I drift too far away. Yeah, we're good. What do I hit? Select? Yeah, select there and there. Get that synced up. That's Lake Ontario right out that way, the big body of water. Looks a little ripply out there, but not too bad. Winds are supposed to be pretty calm today. These guys look like they're putting in some extra docking here. City of Toronto. Yeah, a little bumpier than I thought. I thought it was going to be more like glass out here. These great big clay cliffs here are what they call the Scarborough Bluffs. There's some nice homes up on top there, some great views over Lake Ontario. Every year though, it seems that they've got to do some rescues here. Somebody gets over the edge somehow and gets trapped, although I don't know how you get over the edge there without falling straight off, but I don't know, they tried to climb down or something like that and get trapped, and fire and rescue has to come and save their butts. So these are the Scarborough Bluffs, just around the corner from where you launch the boat. So I think the plan is, it's going to be kind of overcast, although it looks like it's clearing a bit. Chance of a little bit of rain today, but I'm going to make my way down over towards the Toronto Harbour, cruise around through the Toronto Harbour, Toronto Island, around that area, and then maybe go a little bit further, maybe fuel up down there, see what the situation is with fuel. It's not all that far away, maybe just guessing, could be 11, 12, 14 kilometers down there. And then cruise around and just see what the day brings, get some nice shots of Toronto. Look at all this pollen in the water. Ugh. That will disappear later in the summer. Even up in Muskoka now and Georgian Bay, there's pollen. This seems to be congealing a little more in puddles. Kind of takes away the aesthetics of Lake Ontario. So you know when you buy those helium-filled party balloons, you play with them for a while and then maybe they get broken loose from your backyard and take off? Well, that's where they wind up. Places like this. Right out in the middle of the lake. I think I'll grab that throw it in, take that in, get rid of it somewhere on shore so it's not out in the middle of the lake, because that stuff doesn't break down. That'll take forever. So this is what people do when they've got too much time on their hands. This is COVID-19 work here, folks. Look at all the rocks stacked up here. A lot of flat rocks around, so there's lots of things to work with. It's kind of cool though. It's like a little monument out here. There's a whole bunch of them all the way along here. People have just taken all these stones and rocks and stacked them one on top of the other. Even people along the waterfront, there's not that many. This is the Toronto ferries that run back and forth over to Toronto Island. I'm not sure they're running right now because of COVID-19, but those are the ferries right there. Gotta love that. That's the self-launch mechanism, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You get right in there, get it all set, just push off. That is very cool. You've done that before. It's a bit shallow, we just touched bottom. Better back out of here. You can see where I've stirred up the mud. Let's get back out a little bit to the main channel. It's a bit shallow through here. Oh, there's a launch right there. That's probably where people launch their Sea-Doos, is right from there. And then there's some parking in there too. Pretty sure these things will be shaken up pretty good. Oh, there's a plane coming in. So quiet. And a hamburger from last night. So there's my dining room table all set. Forgot the white tablecloth. Shucks. And that'll be a drink and lunch. And guess what? I'm going to open that drink over the side of the boat because I'm pretty sure it's been shook up pretty good. Just a quiet little spot for lunch. I'm all alone here on this Toronto Island. There's a couple people on bicycles around, but that's about it. Park staff are watering and maintaining things, but this is pretty rare. You just don't ever see it this quiet. It's kind of nice. Got my hamburger from last night. Just gonna have a little quiet lunch right here. Got a park bench all to myself. Social distancing is in place. And now we'll just continue on these waterways and make our way out somewhere down the other end of Toronto Island. There's a couple of more marinas up here, I think, too. These These are young geese. This is this year's geese. They've just got all their colors now. Probably born in the spring. This is Canada Goose Roundup here. Gotta herd them. Gotta herd them all over to the shoreline. Okay, you guys, to the shore. That's it. You be the leader. Well, this little bridge here will limit a certain number of boats from going underneath it, but it won't affect us. Well, that's going to do it for today for another Yukon Bob video. Today, the inner city, the inner harbor of Toronto, Ontario has been our trip. Just took a little rundown from my place, which is only about a half an hour, 35 minutes to get down here. Launched the Sea-Doo, drove around the bluffs, the Scarborough Bluffs, and then into the Toronto area, ran to the inner harbor, out by the airport, downtown Toronto Island Airport. We did the island, Toronto Island, Center Island, in some of the canals there, had lunch. And there's the city right behind me there. Big smoke, Toronto. Kind of neat with that cloud cover. It's kind of a neat effect back there. See what that looks like on the computer later on. Thanks for coming along, guys, on another Yukon Bob video. Just a quick one today through the Toronto Harbour area, and we will see you soon on the next Yukon Bob video.